When you drop your kids off at daycare, you trust that they aren't near any convicted sex offenders. But as the 22 News I-Team discovered, this is not always the case here in Western Massachusetts.
The state released a report that found there were more than 100 cases statewide of sex offenders sharing the address of daycare centers. So the 22 News I-Team took it one step further and found which ones are here in Western Mass. You'd like to think when you bring your kids to daycare that they're safe. But a recent state report found 119 cases statewide of daycare centers that share addresses with registered sex offenders. Something parents didn't think was possible until we told them about it.
Would you even think to ask a daycare provider about sex offenders?
I would now.
The 22 News I-Team dug into this report even deeper and discovered 11 of them are here in Western Massachusetts. 1 in Chicopee and Holyoke, 5 in Springfield, 3 Pittsfield, and 1 in North Adams.
Once I got a copy of the addresses, I took a closer look at them as the state did. Turns out many of the daycares share an address with other businesses like strip malls or community colleges that may employ or serve sex offenders legally. But that wasn't the case for all of them. Documents from the state show it suspended 1 daycare license in Eastern Mass and 2 here in Springfield. They're no longer allowed to operate, so we decided to stop in and make sure that's the case. I'm Laura from 22 News. How are you? I'm working on a story about daycare license providers. The first address we went to appeared to be shut down, no sign of any children. But at the second, we found kids. Are you still providing daycare here? Yeah. You are, but according to the state, your license was revoked?
I don't understand English.
This woman claimed she didn't speak good English before she stopped talking.
You're listed here as a daycare provider that had their license suspended.
I don't understand English.
And are you still providing daycare? Excuse me.
Then someone else came home. I'm sorry? Only she couldn't give me the time of day. That's when the 22 News I-Team traveled to Boston to get some answers from the man in charge, Early Education and Care Acting Commissioner Tom Weber, who says changes are being implemented now to keep kids in daycare safe.
This clearly can be disturbing for parents, though. How does something like this happen?
Well, we've never had a statutory requirement or a regulatory requirement to look at the sex offender registry database. Notwithstanding that, it's something that we're now doing.
As for the address that we found had kids at it, the state said they looked into it after we told them about it and were told by the woman, quote, she still cares for related family members, which is legal. However, they will not accept her word at face value. They will continue to monitor her closely. In fact, they say they'll closely monitor all licensed daycare providers.
How do you know that this isn't going to happen again? Is this going to be something that's looked at on a regular basis?
Yeah, well, we're going to be looking at it at least on a monthly basis. And there's in truth, no 100% foolproof plan, but we can take as many steps as we possibly can to make it as foolproof as possible, and that's what we're trying to do.
And the state says they've now been to that address a second time since we told them about it. If you'd like to take a closer look at the daycare centers that were investigated here in Western Mass and the status of their license, head to our website, wwlp.com. I'm Laura Hutchinson, working for you with the 22 News I-Team.